Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me forever and ever is Ben.
Aw. That's a long time, though.
It's our eternal torment.
We're going to have to watch a lot of movies.
I mean, we just signed up to watch a lot of movies.
Yeah. A lot of movies that are all the same thing.
Yes, a lot of movies that are mostly the same movie.
But this isn't that podcast.
But we're not there yet.
No.
To buy ourselves time.
Yeah.
To get ready to embark on our great Godzilla project. We're just going to talk about Magic the Gathering this week.
Did you prep any notes at all?
I have the commander deck lists in front of me.
That's probably good. That's enough.
That's about it.
Yeah. No, yeah, I guess those are like the two big things are the commander decks coming out like in a few days here.
Yes.
And like I think the other big one is Nexus of Fate.
I don't even know what Nexus of Fate is.
Oh. Okay. Well, one of us likes Magic the Gathering.
One of us is a true fan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I only care about Vintage, Ben. God.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna make its way to Vintage.
Oh, that card.
It's still
What's the
There's
thing
a lot
with
of
Nexus of Fate? I don't understand.
I mean, there's just a big old shitstorm about it because it's a buy a box promo. So, okay. Can you, I assume you have the card up, if you could describe what it does.
So Nexus of Fate is a take an extra turn card, but the thing with it is it's 5 colorless mana, 2 blue, 7 mana card. You take an extra turn. But when it would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, so even if it's milled out of your library, it gets revealed and then shuffled back into your library.
And it's at instant speed.
And it's an instant, yes, not a sorcerer.
So that's pretty wild in and of itself.
Similar to a card Beacon of Tomorrow, I think. But just straight up better than it.
Also, it doesn't say target player, so it can't be redirected in case it comes up.
Yeah. Beacon of Tomorrow costed an extra mana, was a sorcery, targeted a player. Also, only got shuffled back in when you cast it.
Yeah.
If it got milled.
The big thing is that Nexus of Fate is a buy a box promo card, which is a practice that was kind of controversial to begin with, and now that this card is seeing play in the standard, it's real bad. People are not happy about it because I think some people thought, okay, it doesn't look that good, and then the people who actually knew what was going on were like, take an extra turn instant speed with Teferi being a thing.
Yeah.
So not only people thought maybe it'd be like a 1 or 2 of in fringe decks, and instead it's being a 4 of and doing reasonably well. Not top tier yet, but it's looking promising. And the card is just skyrocketing in price.
I mean, it's not worth as much as Teferi. It's worth about as much as Teferi right now, actually.
Yeah, but if it gets better, if it breaks through even more, then it's just gonna keep going.
Yeah, the thing is, there have been decks based around using all the take a turn cards. So even if it's just another one of those, it would get played in that deck.
Yeah.
But it's also just better than a lot of them.
Yeah. And
prevents you from decking yourself and other fun things.
And the fact that it's just this standard environment, people are doing Turbo Frog stuff or whatever. Yeah, it's just it's a big mess. Do you remember the last promo that they had for the buy box? The Fire Speaker or whatever. It's the red white gives
red white legendary when you cast.
Gives burn spells lifelink basically.
Yeah.
Not all that's not what it says, but that's what it is. And it wasn't standard legal. I don't think maybe it was, but like everybody unanimously agreed, like, yeah, there's nothing really to be done here, and
I mean,
that
it's a
turned out to
6-mana
be
card.
true.
It just wasn't that playable.
Yeah, no, but it's, there's some commander shenanigans, so for commander, like, whatever. It's a decent, it's a fun commander or whatever. It's unique, it's a buy box promo, whatever. And some people were still kind of rightfully pissed off because Wizards said they would never do a promo like that again. After, I forget what card it was. It was some shitty dragon that they only gave away at like Gen Con or something, or like a specific convention or some bullshit like that. And it was bad. It was a bad card, but people want it. And there was a whole big thing about it, and Wizards was like, we won't do this again. We won't make unique cards, promo cards, blah, blah, blah. And they did it again, and that was bad enough, and now this is happening. There was also a problem with Nexus of Fate that, as of now, has been fixed, where its drop rate, it's only available in Treasure Chest on Magic the Gathering Online, but for some reason its drop rate was set super low. Like, unbelievably low. I think it was Saffron Olive spent like 200 ticks to get it, to get a playset. And it's like, it's just ridiculous. But they fixed it, but still, I don't know. I think...
Oh, yeah, it's actually costs more to get it on Magic Online than it does in real life.
Yeah. I think I am of the opinion
Oh, no.
that...
What? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
Maybe it did.
No. To get it foil, it's $12 online. To get it not foil online, it's $40. Because Magic Online is weird.
That sounds right. Yeah, that's the other thing. Even if you use it, there's a good chance that you have to proxy it out anyway because it's foil. Because they want that bending and stuff. But I've been thinking about just kind of the promo situation in general since this has come up, and I think I'm of the opinion that do the promo, but don't make it a standard legal card. Like, either people have suggested doing reprints of like modern or maybe the lower end legacy staples. So then if a new player gets it, they have this card. Maybe that's going to be like the one thing that kicks them into modern or something for some reason. At the very least, they could trade it for standard stuff to a player who plays modern or legacy or whatever, or they could sell it right back and get a default discount on the box. That, or just, do the new card, but don't make it standard legal and just make it whatever else legal. Like, do Nexus of Fate, but then say it's not standard legal. Okay, cool. There's a new card that people can play in Commander or wherever else, but doing it this way is just kind of garbage. And it's working is my problem. I hate that people are bitching about it, but also going out and buying boxes because gotta invest now.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like people are just gonna... that's why they made it standard legal. They made it standard legal so people would... They made a card people would want. Like, that's why it's tuned up. Like, regardless of what they say they wanted people to want this card.
Well, what they said was, we didn't test it enough, and this won't happen in the future, and it's like, well...
Yeah,
you say that.
Well, also, their general mode of operation on stuff is accidentally make stuff too powerful the first time around and then keep doing it as it just gets weaker and weaker, but people keep buying it based on the hype of the previous stuff. That is standard, that is classic Wizards.
Well, that's there. Yeah, that's what people are saying. They're like, even if they nerf the hell out of the promo for the next set, it's not going to matter because people are just going to buy it up anyway in case it gets broken.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this broken either. I would say this is a playable standard deck that it's getting. Yeah. That's like different than the other standard decks, so it's kind of interesting.
I guess, broken enough to be
kind of. It's
a
kind
money
of different.
card.
Like you're still playing Teferi.
Broken enough to be a money card, I guess is what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's probably another thing that will come up. Maybe we'll segue into it sooner than later, but it doesn't have to be now. But just on the topic of amateur Magic investors, has been.
Like, I just don't. Like you talk to people who are more into that. I just don't.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It had just been a while.
So I could kind of see where they were coming from in terms of it not thinking it would be playable in standard because it's a 7 mana cost card. Like
yeah, no, 100%.
Like how is that going to be that good? Part of the problem is just the Teferi is so good. Like control that blue control deck.
Yeah, no, it had a home is the problem.
Yeah, it's both Teferi is so good, and you've got Karn is a little extra helping you out, getting some extra card advantage stuff. Search for Escanta, like just the way standard is right
there's
now,
a lot of.
It was just playable. So I get it in that it was a high mana cost card. Like if it was a low mana cost card, I would be way more surprised if it were like a 1, 2, or 3 cost card that would be playable in Modern. Like that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Like actually, because like Modern is the most insane format from the more I pay attention to this stuff, in that if you cost 4 mana, you're kind of outpriced.
Yeah. No, it's a very people I think they tend to think of Legacy as the more, well, I mean, everybody thinks of Vintage as like the traditional turn 1 win format.
Well, so I mean,
reason,
the funny thing is, having watched a lot of Vintage, like the best deck in Vintage plays Paradoxical Outcome, which is a 4 mana cost card.
Yeah.
Because they have Moxes and
they
stuff that can get them up to higher mana costs, you actually have more flexibility in the the cards you can play outside of like the restricted cards that you can only play one of.
Yeah.
So it's a more interesting format, honestly, to me for those reasons, because like just weird stuff can get playable. Whereas Modern, it's so restrictive
it has
on
to
the
be
1, 2, or 3 cost cards.
Yeah, you have to roll like those specifically. And Legacy is like, I think it's definitely closer to Modern. I think
Legacy
in
is
that regard.
I haven't been watching any Legacy, so that's the one I'm the least up on, I would also say, personally.
I mean, I'm not truly up on any of them.
I don't have a good handle on that. I watched the whole season and I watched even the season previously of Vintage Super League, which runs on MTG, which they run on MTGO with like the best players, as a fun format thing. So I have info on where Vintage is, but I didn't really watch that much of like the Legacy that was played in the Pro Tour recently or anything.
Yeah.
And they did a standard Super League also, so that's why I know that one. That's where I get that info. Stuff I've watched.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll watch anything
yeah.
for Magic.
And then I like to go to MTG Goldfish, and they have the metagame. You can click metagame, and it'll show you all like the decks that are being played, that are winning stuff on MTGO and at tournaments. And then it'll also show you the prices of stuff. I just find it interesting to see where the metagame is. And
yeah.
Also the standard stuff in particular has been helpful. Like what if I'm thinking about stuff to spend wild cards on in Arena, which is why I built the mono blue artifact deck, because that popped up as actually being a good standard deck once Psy got printed, the Master Thopterist. That whenever you play an artifact, you get a 1/1 creature. You get a 1/1 Thopter, or you can sack 2 artifacts to draw a card.
Right.
That dude is good, and made Paradoxical Outcome playable in Standard again. So I was like, ooh, this card I've been watching played in Vintage is playable in Standard for like a couple months more.
Let's do it.
Before it gets rotated out.
Those fat rotations.
Yeah, I didn't realize both. It's at both the Kaladesh block and the Amonkhet block are getting rotated out. So it's all 4 of those sets are leaving, with the incoming spaghetti, as it's codenamed. Also, there's a thunderstorm starting outside, so if people hear that, that's what's going on.
I don't think it's not starting here, but we're supposed to get one, and it's kind of dark out, so might be getting that on both ends. Yeah, I haven't started up Arena in a long time. Like, I'm realizing more and more that I just like Commander. Like, that is like my peak Magic.
That's fair.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get to play the big dump. Like, I came across. I'm also getting, like, I continue to dive sometimes slowly more into the art side of things. So I'm like, oh, Donato Giancola, that's a cool guy. He did this great artwork for Sisei's Ring, and it's basically just a garbage Soul Ring. It's like a 4-drop, colorless, and then you tap for 2. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna play this, and it's not like gonna be a death sentence. It's just gonna be a card.
I mean, it's just it's just a worse Thrawn Dynamo.
Yeah.
It's like, what if Thrawn Dynamo weren't good?
But I don't know. I guess that more. I'm definitely a person who's like, Commander is supposed to be casual. None of this competitive Commander stuff. Get out. Get out of here. Your
my problem is
min-maxing.
I've talked about this before, I think, but like, when I'm building decks, I get like evil, and then but when I'm as a player, I'm like way more casual than I am as a deck builder. I have to like think about like tuning decks down a lot of the time, because it's like, I don't want to fucking that. Like, yes, I could build this deck to perform this particular, and it's combo stuff of like building this deck so that these specific interactions happening. But like, then when I'm playing the deck, it's like, I don't want to be forced into that every time. I want a deck that just like does different stuff. I want the variety, honestly. That's one of the best parts of Commander, is because you only have one copy of different cards. Your deck can play out differently, unless you're like full of tutors.
And see, that's like, I don't know, playing on tabletop with everybody, like, that's really helped shape what I want shaped what I know that I want from like games of Magic. Like, I don't run tutors anymore. I'll run like Defense of the Heart or something, like tutors with a condition.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting, like, even if I'm in black, like, I'm not putting in Demonic Tutor or whatever, because like, odds are there's that one thing that I'm going to gravitate to, and that's what happened with my Sliver deck. I'm like, oh, well, first priority is this, then this, then this, and
yeah,
you just get
and like
it,
everyone
and
at the table knows
fuck.
that, so then they really want to punish you because they know the way you're going to try and win.
Yeah. And like, especially with Slivers, like, that can play, I mean, by the time you're at endgame, it's probably going to look largely the same. You get all the Slivers on the board, it looks the same.
Yes.
But the order they come out in, like, how are they going to get there? So, fuck it, I want to top deck stuff. That's how I like playing.
Yeah, the Sliver deck, playing against it was interesting, just because it was like, oh god, if he gets just these certain slivers he can win. Whether you would or not, it was like immaterial, because it's just like you have so much power to do stuff, you can kind of just control the game. So it might as well be over.
That's why, like, I should probably just not do Sliver Overlord. Turns out having a Sliver tutor in your command zone is
because he's like, got you salty just because it was like, well, I have to punish you. I have to go after you. I have to stop you. And you're like, but I wasn't gonna
do anything.
But you totally could.
Yeah.
Although the saltiest time that happened was because I had the power to just kill a player on the board. So that was a weird situation.
Which one is this?
Aetherflex Reservoir.
Oh, right. That bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That got stupid.
That got stupid.
There's been some salt.
There's been some salt. It happens, man.
I think the biggest thing that would just instantly tilt me is if you're like, I think I'm gonna play Norrin. It's like, no. How about no? There's been too many bad times.
I would build a different Norrin deck.
That when you were talking about how like you're evil when you're deck building, I'm like, yeah, I remember that Norrin deck. You don't.
Yeah, that deck I didn't build.
Yeah,
the deck I pulled off the internet and then was like, oh god, why? Why is this what this deck is?
Okay, fair enough. Still, it's gross as hell.
That was part of like the thing of like when we started and I was just pulling decks off the internet. It was like, because I didn't know necessarily. I wasn't paying enough attention, and I didn't necessarily know what the worst stuff would be. It's like, oh god, why is this a Blood Moon deck?
I mean, I still actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that makes me less salty than my Dutch friend's budget. What the hell is it? Master of Waves? Something. It's the dude that whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it creates drakes.
Talrand?
No, Talrand Sky Summoner. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, Talrand is fucking horseshit.
Yeah, so she just had a budget version of that deck, but it actually doesn't matter because counter spells are cheap. Mm-hmm. So
no, the first deck I built on
Slivers
one of the first decks I built on MTGO was a counterspell deck, just because those were cheap cards that my friend could just give me because he had extras.
Yeah, no, that was, and especially since we were just like playing 1v1. Like, turns out there's only one thing to counter.
Yeah,
stuff's
rough.
Oh, yeah, no, that was a bad
balance.
time.
The balance I'm trying to find that I don't know that I always do is just you don't want it to be like oppressively holding people down, but you do need ways to just win. You need ways for the game to end.
Yep.
Which is like some of the lower power decks I've built just haven't had enough of thinking about that.
Yeah.
So
well, that's even like.
Long. Which is the only real way I figured out around it was when I put Infect in decks.
That was, I mean, having experienced that, like, I get it now. It's a pretty it gets you kind of flustered when you get to pull that out on somebody.
You're just like, oh, I can just kill someone.
Yeah.
And the thing, the other way I feel okay about it is usually it's not like I'm like super fast killing everyone. Just like I have the power to kill a person. I'm probably not going to win if, like, theoretically, I can win if I'm spending this
bump
stuff.
off one guy.
Yeah. That's the reason Infect isn't like banned out of the format is because the Infect player generally doesn't win.
Yeah, they won't come in last. They'll
he has to be
off
aggressive.
A person.
Yeah. So he that's the on the Command Zone podcast where I like learned a lot about Commander. They talked about how Infect like changed their play group and that it made all their decks have to be more efficient because they had to worry about just dying super early to Infect.
Yeah.
It helped make their decks better, even though they're not like competitive players. It's just like you're just generally being able. It retaught the mana curve basically because there's like when you go into Commander, you can kind of think of it's casual. I'll just play all the high end fun stuff. But like,
but then the Infect player is like,
then you just die, and you're like, I guess mana curve does matter.
Yeah,
it's like if someone cares about mana curve, kind of everyone then starts to need to.
Yeah.
Well, if someone who can also get around the 40 life thing more easily.
Yeah. No, my my dirtiest victory was still the only victory I technically obtained with my my art deck back when it still had like the enchantresses in it or more of them. I just dirtled for like 2.5 hours. Like between the stuff that's like you can tap any amount of creatures, gain 4 life for each one, like Spore Flower, the fog on a stick or whatever. That was doing a lot of work. But one of the players at the table was like, I I have enough here to like kill everyone, myself included, except Ben. And I think I'm just gonna do it. So like, it was kind of 2.5 hours. Like I felt a little bad, but also like I delegated the victory. Like I wanted to win, but I had to delegate it to someone. I feel okay saying that. So
I don't know. When you're making someone kill themselves rather than continuing to play this game of Commander, I don't know that that's winning. That's like
yeah,
nobody wins.
It's a one and done thing.
Yeah.
Like
that's like,
one of
but
those
again,
that,
that's like, oh,
yeah,
I have to
well,
change this deck. This is not.
Well, I mean, it's an art deck. It got changed. Like it's a lot
Yeah.
weaker now because
Yeah.
0 enchantresses. Lots of land tutoring and ramp though. I don't have anything to
fun.
do with it, but
Ramping is fun.
I can find
like-
so many lands.
You can just do more stuff. It's great. That's why
Also,
playing green is so much fun.
if you need a foil copy of Seek the Horizon, just let me know. I ordered one for my art deck, and I was looking for it. I'm like, did I just not order it? Like, or did it never come? Like, I'm not finding it. Forgot that I had put it in my enchantment deck. So the second copy arrived. And I'm like, oh, hey. What was the order? I have 3 copies somehow. And I don't know what exactly happened, but I definitely have 3 copies. Not a money card by any means, but like, I don't have it. Well, unless I throw in the Merfolk deck, that might happen eventually, but also 2 Opaline unicorns. Similar circumstances.
I like the idea
I
though
don't-
that you just like. Eventually, you're just gonna have like 20 copies of one card foiled because you just had to buy a bunch to get to the $2 minimum for TCG players.
I mean, I've just started, like, it's going to be Cartographer. Like, that's going to be my fill card. Like, oh, you're 20 cents short or something. All right, throw it a foil for Cartographer. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, like just your go-to bulk. Like just buy another one to get you
Yeah,
up.
dude. Just throw it in the binder then. Just
Oh, this is my. Oh yeah, you want trades? Here's my cartographer binder.
Here's
It's
my
all
trade binder. What the
foil cartographers? I'm like, what the fuck?
It's just my favorite art, dude. Looks so good. It's so
And
good.
then they ask, all right, I guess I'll trade it for this. And you're like, oh, they're not for trade.
Oh, no.
Completely.
Yeah,
pulled
that's
the
a
100% dick move.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, do you see that conversation in the chat then?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, that was a fucking thing. Or
Yeah.
another person that I'd asked, like, hey, do you have a foil Eternal Witness? He's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, oh, whatever. He's like, well, it's in my EDH deck. I'm like, ugh, why the fuck would I just ask if you had a card? Like, unless it was like a Black Lotus or something that's absurd. Like, dude, do you actually have one? Like, that's awesome. Like, if I'm asking about it, it means I want it. So just say no. Or again, with the whole, like, I don't know.
I mean, if it's
I
stuff
guess I
in
just-
people's trade binders, that's what I don't get.
That too. But there's
Like,
also
if it's in
just-
your deck, that's whatever.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like between that and just like not even necessarily investments, but just people like hoarding shit. Like, hey, does anyone have these 2 temples? And he's like, oh, I mean, I do, but I don't have play sets of them, so I don't want to trade. I'm like,
Just say
Alright,
no to me. Just say,
just please,
just
like,
say no.
I asked another dude if he had Merfolk stuff, and he's like, yeah, I have it, but I'm holding on to it in case I want to build Merfolk again sometime. I'm
Yeah,
like,
those people should say no.
like, you guys need to say no. And also, why y'all hoarding stuff?
I mean,
Like-
they're not hoarding enough. They're just hoarding like their single copies. Look, as as someone who has a bunch of Magic cards that I don't want to trade just because I hate. I never feel good after trading stuff. I understand, but also that's why I don't go bring trade binders.
Yeah,
Talk
yeah.
about trade.
I mean, you don't need to trade me anything, but you can gift me a bunch of bulk foils.
Yeah,
Got any cartographers in there?
I know I have a cartographer, but it's not foil.
Oh, yeah.
I need one cartographer, Ben.
I mean, it makes sense. I can't blame you on that one.
I probably have more than one. Probably an extra one somewhere. I don't remember. I only remember the one printing of it because it's the good art. I don't remember
Are there
if
two
I have
printings
any
of it?
I think there are other. I think there's other art.
Or are you thinking of Sisei's ring?
No, I know. I know there are two printings of Sisei's ring for sure. Yeah, there's an older cartographer art from Exodus.
I'm about to look at it.
It's a dude, not a lady.
Oh.
Yeah. So I might have one of those somewhere, but
Jeff Lobenstein. No offense, dude, but don't quit your day job.
I know I have at least one of the Odyssey ones.
Yeah, those are the good ones. No, I just what really got me was having 4 copies of a card in your trade binder.
Yeah.
And then saying that you only trade if you have more than 4. I'm like, for real? Like, are you even going to use it?
Give me your overflow binder then. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, keep separate binders. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, that's what I don't get. Like, I could understand if you had like different binders, like, oh, these aren't for trade, but if you want to purchase them or something, like,
yeah, or
fine,
like,
whatever. But
your binder of shit you just want to have around because they're showing off or whatever.
Yeah, but
like,
toss a label on the front.
Separate binders.
Toss a label on the front that says like dick measuring binder. Like,
exactly.
Do that. But no, I don't know. It just felt real bad. Like trying to trade for stuff and everyone's like hyper focused on both value and like, oh, am I going to need this or whatever. Like, it's not good enough that the cards are both $5, but oh, one of them's a standard card, one of them's modern, so I really don't feel comfortable about this trade. Well, then fuck off, I guess. Like,
that's why I do my acquiring of cards over the internet.
Oh yeah, dude. No, once I am rid of anything worth trading, I'm not gonna trade. Cause fuck that.
I have stuff
it's not
I'm
worth it.
Thinking of just doing buy list, selling for some stuff to fund some EDH decks. For some cards that are worth stuff that I don't need. I don't need my foil Kiki Jiki. And that's like a $50 card.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking it didn't play out that way, and I'm fine with how it did, but if I could have sold my Horizon Canopy for like the full $60 or whatever, I was like, I can buy probably 90 to 100% of my Babe EDH deck. Because that's a real low value deck.
Yeah. Ugh.
But
I wanted to build the Men Without Shirts deck, but it was like surprisingly pricey.
Where was
for
the
a total joke deck?
Do you know where the money was coming from?
I don't even remember. And I know one of the cards that was money I actually am not gonna put in it. Because I realized what's his name? Ironis. The Boros god. He's wearing a breastplate that I just didn't see.
Ooh.
When I was
yeah,
looking at it.
That's rough.
And that card is in lists of people talking about shirtless characters, so I'm not alone in not noticing it. But yeah, that card needs to be replaced. Also, I'm gonna take the Demonic Tutor out of it, both because I don't need Demonic Tutor in that deck, and because I would need original art Demonic Tutor, which I don't have. I only have the dual deck art one.
Yeah,
I bought that dual deck.
I think I might do Merfolk, but like at least tone down a bit for the mana base. Most of everything else, honestly, isn't that expensive.
Like, the problem is, like, even EDH decks that aren't using any like high money cards, it's still like 100 cards. It's still a lot.
Yeah, so it's gonna be $100 basically. Though someone did Someone on Reddit, what the hell? I forget who the commander was. They built a super budget EDH deck and it was like $12.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
That's
that's
pretty
dope.
crazy. That's
Like
pretty
that's
great.
it's pretty great, yeah. Like I'm tempted. Cause think of
Yeah.
all the EDH decks I could have.
But you still have to. You have to buy sleeves. The sleeves cost.
I
As
mean,
much
if
as
it's
the
12,
decks.
I was gonna say if it's $12, I'm probably not sleeving up. Real talk.
I would probably still sleeve up. I just had too many experiences over the years of playing with unsleeved cards. And it's just
Fair.
like they just get gross after a while.
Oh yeah. I mean, even the sleeves get. I had to replace like on my silver
Yeah.
deck after one point. Like they just get disgusting.
That's fair.
Helps when you're using a playmat. That was definitely part of it.
Yes. So that's like for me buying an EDH deck, I have to buy deck boxes. I have to buy sleeves. I have to
Oh,
buy
yeah, no,
I
for
have to buy a
my-
playmat. I still don't have one.
You
So
should have told me.
they're
I
a
would
bunch of
have. I would
extra
have. I would have
costs.
sent you mine. I had an extra one. It was even signed by Brian Kibler.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, my I had just gotten for inked playmats. They had like you could just put your own art on, or whatever. It wasn't my art, but it was art that I found. I didn't really question the legality of that until later, but I don't know. Anyway, so I had that, and then I ended up going in on the Kickstarter for the unhinged playmats, like the lands. So got that sweet, sweet forest.
Nice.
Never need a playmat again.
I mean, it's like it wears out. I saw someone at a
wear out.
pre-release who had a playmat that was like, it was like, dude,
Beat
you
to
have to get a
fuck.
new playmat.
Yeah.
It was like
I
all
mean, I don't-
crinkled around the edges, and I'm just like,
I don't think
understand.
I don't think I play enough for it to.
Yeah.
My one game a year,
Uh-huh. That's
For now.
fair.
but
Yeah,
How
I,
was I gonna-
I want to go to the card shop to play EDH, but they do it on Saturday, and Saturday I'm usually busy.
the main EDH place in town is at like starting at like 9 or 10 at night on Tuesdays at a Taco Bell. I just don't. It's too much. It's
Yeah.
I can't. I can be in public and play Magic. I can't go to a Taco Bell. Like I can't allow myself to fall that much into like the gross stereo. Not even like neckbeard or like nerd. Like that's just gross. Like I don't want to be playing cards and having people eating Taco Bell around me.
Just getting
Mostly,
good,
I
that
also-
good Taco Bell oil air. on all
Yeah,
your
I was gonna
cards.
say like I also just don't like Taco Bell, like at all. But yeah, I don't need someone like wiping their greasy ass hands on their shirt, which is about as greasy, and then like grabbing my card to read the reminder text. Then the shit gets shuffled into my deck, and before you know it, all my cards smell like a freaking hard shell taco. I don't need that.
Look, nothing will ever be as amazing to me as the guy I played Magic with. One of the guys I played Magic with in high school who never sleeved his cards and like didn't wipe his hands while because we would play during lunch, and like you
Oh,
would just see
God.
these fucking grease stains on his cards. Also, he put his he's the guy who put his lands in front. He would like build the little
Oh,
boats.
yeah, that'll do it. That explains everything.
Also, his name was Nads, so when I would sit next to him and it was his turn next, I got to say "Go Nads." That was fun. Fun
I mean,
times.
That makes it. I don't know. You at least break even on continuing to play with them.
I mean, it got to the point where I was just saying it. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just what I said.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I'm looking forward to having my commander deck finished.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my actual deck that isn't garbage.
Yeah, I want to build the bear deck, and I want to build a Joyra deck. And the Joyra deck is mostly just because I think that deck's fun to goldfish. I don't
Oh, yeah.
I don't ever know that that's going to be a fun deck to play with people. But it's very fun to goldfish.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Babe deck will probably happen just because it's another. I mean, it's basically $1 per card at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Merfolk because I have a chunk of it already, like just ambiently, and I think I can trade for another good chunk of it at least.
Yeah.
But I've really ever since what the hell is its name? Eric Stock, the Kraken land. Erixmethus. Like, that flavor is so damn on point for the deep sea deck that I'm like, I want to do this now. Like,
It's pretty good.
It's actually just fantastic.
It's basically just a Sisei's ring as your commander, so it's top tier.
And I can put Sissy's ring in the deck.
Oh man, the flavor.
Fuck Thrawn's Dynamo.
It's like a second commander, man.
Dude, it's going to be unreal.
I mean, it pays for commander tax for one commander tax.
The only better way is if I would, like, I love the original art, but, you know, get it altered so that the 3 hands in it are like a fin, a tentacle, and something else, like trying to put the ring on.
That's pretty great.
But
Man,
no, that deck.
The first time I saw Sisei's ring was the 7th edition. Oh no! Now I remember.
Yeah,
There's a
7th.
card. It wasn't the 7th edition. I think there's a card in like Meriden or something that's literally just Sisei's ring, but has a different name.
Okay,
That was what I saw
gotcha.
first.
Yeah.
And that art is bad. It's boring.
The 7th edition Sisei's ring is also kind of meh.
It still goes in the hands. The deck where it's just hands, though. It is still just a hand.
I mean, you can use either one. You can use either art. Your
you're
possibilities are just
good
freaking
either way.
endless. No, that I don't know, a deep sea deck. Has Paul played it all, or have you played like in an actual game?
Paul played it once.
How did it roll? How did it handle?
He was doing very good. I think he had to. That game ended with him having to leave, though. So he had to just scoop. But
Yeah.
he was doing stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, as
He had the
like,
ability to do stuff at least. He was probably doing less than he could have. I would say even.
yeah, it happens. Well, that's good. Like whenever I don't know, some of those giant creature decks, they can be finicky as all hell.
Yeah, I
But
think that
there's
deck would
enough
be
stuff to
better
really
with Erixmethus as the commander, because you can actually play it. Because you need, like, I feel way better about getting a commander that helps more on the front end than on the back end, which is what the current, that Merfolk,
Did you,
you draw cards equal to power.
What were
Although I
your
would probably
thoughts
put
on,
more card draw on that deck. When I
what were your thoughts on unexpected results? Not worth.
That it probably goes in. I have to. The problem is I don't want to think too hard about rebuilding that deck until the commander cards are in. So I just in my deck list I put it in the sideboard so that I won't forget to think about it.
You can throw the new commanders in already.
Untapped out, but not the site I use.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, right.
Not on Mana Stack. I could use tapped
knockoff
out.
brand.
Tapped out works better now, right? Like they have a version for deck building that's not just the text added.
Yeah, there's like a 2018 deck builder button that I've never clicked on, but shows up on every deck editing screen. So I don't actually know anything about it.
That might actually solve my problem, which is just that I want to see the cards as I put them in. I hate the just text list.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Well, whatever. I'll look at that later.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The big fucking expense from that deck is Dark Depths.
Yes, Dark Depths. Yeah, that's a cut.
Like that's the money card from it, and I just didn't see it coming. Has it always been? Did Did it jump
Oh.
recently, or has it always been kind of
Let's find out what MTG Goldfish says about its price history, which is another one of my
that's what
favorite
I-
features of MTG
Oh,
Goldfish.
yeah, no, that's what I've been doing that more lately.
It jumped around M14, and then it
Maybe
jumped
people were
again. So it was a $20 card. Then at M14 it went to like a $40 card or $30 card maybe. And then went up to like an $80 card around BNG. What's BNG?
Yeah, I'm seeing that like 60. Oh, Born of the
Gods.
Yeah. It, like spiked, then went down a little. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there were decks around it. There's a modern deck or something. What's it played in? Like, it's played in Legacy a lot, I realize.
Great. I mean, that's one of those things where like I like the flavor on it. So if I really end up wanting it, I'll fucking proxy it. I'm kind of at that point with Commander, like if I'm not proxying the entire deck, like I'll proxy a few cards. I'd rather play than be like, oh no, I can't. It's whatever. It's all cardboard, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not playing.
You could just
I'm not playing a
cards.
tournament. Yeah. Oh no, I'm fine playing without it, but like if for some reason I got real hard for it, I'd just proxy it.
Yeah. That's fair.
I've also been trying to read through the.
I mean, that's what's tapped out. That's what we do on tabletop. Full proxies.
Oh yeah. No, I think tabletop is like my favorite way to play Magic, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's free.
No.
And I can just play anything.
The only thing is you're only playing with friends. So the experience is just generally going to be better, or it would stop happening. And also, you're not paying any extra money for cards.
Yeah, and the only way to do that, like in real life, is to print all the shit out on paper, and then cut it out and put it in sleeves.
Yeah,
that's time consuming. Fuck that for a Commander deck.
Yeah, but if you're doing that with the computer generated cards, then you'd be a baller.
Yeah. I'm looking at this deck builder. It's interesting.
Oh, the new tapped out one?
Yeah. Not sure how I feel about it.
Where's this button on the page?
Oh, you have to go into the deck editing thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. This is a little nicer. And then at the top it should be like, try out the 2018 deck builder.
Oh, like after you've already created the deck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe.
This is the optimal podcasting content also.
Live. I mean, Magic the Gathering talk.
I mean, I say that, but I love the joke of talking about things the audience can't see in audio. I actually find that hilarious, so I don't actually.
I mean, people are learning stuff.
I actually am.
If anyone wants to,
and if you're listening and hate
it, wants to go on tapped out. Now they know where to go for the new deck editor.
I still don't see where this button is.
Okay, so you're on the what screen are you on?
I'm on a deck.
Go click the edit deck button.
Edit.
Like just the regular one.
Yep. Oh.
And then
Let's see.
Then it's there. I don't know why they don't just have it available, but it's there.
Weird.
I think they want you to like put in the basic list first, and then you can do it.
Okay, and I can display thumbnails. But how do I? Can you not organize this at all?
There's a little like
by.
sort
Here
by.
we go.
Yeah, and then you have tabs, and it's pretty nice.
Ooh. Yeah, this is good. I may start using tapped out more again.
Yeah. Oh, you know I'm gonna cut that Mana Crypt for Sisei's Ring.
Oh yeah.
Direct
Mana
upgrade.
Crypt is one of those cards I put in every deck because I own one.
Yeah.
It's like otherwise I wouldn't.
I had one. If I got one for free, I'd probably not trade it. But
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I just get a fucking proxy. You know how it is.
You know it is. I know it's a fucking $100 card. It's stupid though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But whatever.
Well,
I approach it the way people who have like beta lands that they used to play without sleeves on them. It's like, yeah, but I've just had them for so long that who cares?
Yeah. Oh my god. I was curious as to what the fucking masterpiece is. That's like 286. That's like 300. Actually, straight up.
Yeah, I don't have the fucking masterpiece.
Oof. Well, no, but I was wondering like if it would be more expensive by a ton. Or no, because like it's adding more. It's not like it was an extremely common card to begin with, but
yeah, but it wasn't that expensive one. I remember. I mean, I know it wasn't that expensive when I got it, or I wouldn't have gotten it.
Mm-hmm. I'll pick up a proxy if I ever pick one up. But with Sisei's Ring, why bother? You already have like the next best thing.
The cases that annoy me are where like the gold bordered versions of cards are expensive. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's because I mean it depends on the. Well, they're all probably somewhat pricey because there's the ones that have the gold only on the back.
Well, specifically, it's the guy's cradle ones that I see.
Okay. Yeah.
Those are like still like $50 or something. It's like,
yep.
Fuck.
No, I got my collector's edition or whatever regrowth because I like that art, but the judge foil of it is kind of meh, and the collector's version is nice and like it has a darker color to it. I don't know. It looks good and it's regrowth, so whatever.
Yeah.
Pick up a copy for like $1 if I wanted to, I'm sure. Some people get real testy about it, dude.
I know some people don't. That's like the reason I wouldn't build my deck around proxies or even gold border cards, probably just because people are assholes. And if you're building a physical deck, I don't necessarily know who I'm gonna be playing with.
Yeah. Well, see, I would never proxy in like if I'm playing my enchantment deck or something. I would never proxy in all the dual lands. The original duels. I might proxy in a Sarah's Sanctum or Sarah's Sanctuary, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it might happen. Or something like I would feel comfortable proxying a Mana Crypt into
Workshop.
Whatever deck.
I don't know. Some of those cards, I'm just like, maybe they should just be banned from Commander, but also, who cares?
Yeah.
That's mostly the thing. It's like I could just like forget this is legal.
I mean, that's like, yeah, that's part of the fun of Commander, though. Casual format also enjoy all of these really expensive cards.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's a legacy format, so people who can have been playing Magic forever could have fun with it. So I totally get people who happen to own those things, like just being able to play with them.
Yep.
Just because you happen to have one or something. You don't necessarily have full play sets. I get it. So I have a Mana Crypt. I want to play my Mana Crypt.
Yeah. No, the guy who I traded my Mana Crypt to, he's like one of those people that like, he's a good friend and I've had drinks with him a couple of times, but like we don't really hang out that much. Mm-hmm. But when we do, it's like a good time. Like every time I see him, he talks about the Mana Crypt. He's like, dude, I can't fucking believe that you had a mana crypt. I was looking for one. It was like right there in front of me, and it just blows his mind every time.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. I think it helped. I'm pretty sure it was like a foreign black border, I think. So it wasn't like full price.
I don't even know what that means.
So for, I think it's, well, it depends on the edition for each. It depends on the language in the edition, but for a while they had the rule that like the first time it was printed in a language, it would be black bordered. So like Regrowth Unlimited is white bordered in English, but in like German or whatever, when it was first printed in German, they would do Unlimited, but it would be black bordered.
Oh.
So that's like my I had a foreign black bordered Tundra. It was black bordered, but it was Italian, so it was actually unlimited or revised or whatever it was.
Sexy.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who just fucking hate white border cards.
I don't mind them. I never end up with enough of them for me to feel comfortable having them in a deck. It's always like, wow, I have this entire deck, and then one fucking white border card. Guess which one's getting cut?
It's like, this card's kind of expensive. White border ones are cheaper, so I will do that.
Yep. Yeah.
Or it's like, one of the weird ones is like Merchant Scroll on MTGO is only white border unless you got it in like a weird promo. They're also weird edge case stuff.
Or like that's what happened with Regrowth. I'm like, wow, the printing I like the most of Regrowth is beta. That ain't happening. And the wow, the summer revised one looks nice and dark and dope. That's also not happening because I don't have a fucking extra house on hand to trade for it.
Yeah. As someone who has 4 of those original art, but those cards are poorly printed. They just kind of look like crap.
Yep. That's why the collector's edition. The best of all worlds. Cheap, black border, nice print.
Also, using cards on tabletop's been weird for me because in general, in real life, like I would prefer the original border stuff, but when you're playing on tabletop, the
you want whatever
factor with the new borders is so much higher. It's like okay, new borders every time, if possible.
Well, most times.
Yeah,
I think
sometimes
I feel like we've come across some cases of like for whatever reason the newer border has worse legibility if it's just a bad scan or something.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. But there's weird stuff with how Frogtown works, and that it might be sometimes matter like what gets pulled might matter on the host settings for Frogtown on high quality art, or I don't even know how that works. It might have been. I think there were some times where I've put decks up there and I accidentally had low quality on instead of high quality because settings got reversed.
Oh yeah, no, that's also happened.
The one I hate is that where Frogtown will automatically pull like the
shit versions,
like the versions.
Yeah, the masterpiece,
particularly for like the Amonkhet stuff. They're just illegible. You just cannot read them.
They had such a good thing going with masterpieces, and then Invocations just fucking killed that entire thing. Like, everybody loved masterpieces, and everybody pretty much hated the Amonkhet ones.
Yeah. Well, those were also the last ones they were gonna do, right? They didn't just stop because of they also had decided they were gonna stop, I think.
Okay.
I don't think
maybe a bit of both.
Like, they were just so garbage. They never did that again.
I mean, I'm sure they will. Don't know what for, but they will. Oh, maybe when we get back to Theros, we can get those. I don't even know what they'd be called because they're not masterpieces. They're not like artifacts. They're not invocations. Whatever enchantments would be.
The reprints I want the most are reprints for the shocks, because I don't fucking have any, and I would really love for when we return to Ravnica, those to all get reprinted.
Return to Ravnica.
So those prices can drop.
Yeah. See, I would like to unload my shocks before then. Well, the ones I'm not using.
Yeah. Also, the fetches. Some of those fetches are fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I have...
fucking $70 blue-red fetch. That's not okay.
Oh, Scalding Tyrant is up that high? Yeah. I have
some fetches, but I don't have that one.
I think I have the reprint ones. I think. No, I know Windswept Heath and Flooded Strand. I'm pretty sure I have like the Khans to Cure block.
I have 2 Windswept Heaths even. I don't know.
I have an old
like
Wooded
one of them
Foothills.
I have 2 of. I think it's the green-white one. I have the green-white one. I have the red-white one. I have the blue-white one. Maybe I should make a white deck. And I have the blue-black one. But I don't have any shocks, so they're not even that useful.
Yeah, you're just you're so close. Yeah, no, I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm interested if they print shocks again, and I'm interested if they don't print shocks again. Either way.
Yeah, fair enough.
Man.
Luckily, I don't need shocks for my bear deck. And
no shocks, but Bear's gonna be flying.
Bear's gonna be flying.
Wow. Yeah, we blew through an hour.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Commander 2018.
I mean,
even a little bit.
Commander 2018's coming out. Lots of people are upset because they raised the price and dropped the power level. The land deck doesn't matter. The land deck doesn't care about lands. There. We saw. That's about it.
I mean, look, the hate on the land deck's a little overblown. The weird thing about this year's Commander product is that there aren't that many great reprints. Like, the couple good reprints that there were have already dropped completely in price. It's mostly the values in the new cards, which is weird.
Yeah. Well, the kick to the teeth is that Wizards is doing like official how to upgrade your deck articles, and it's like, you could have just put the upgrades in the deck. They're not like $200.
Yeah.
Like, is it that much to fucking put it in?
Yeah, man.
I just bought singles. I was planning on getting the enchantment deck, and I sat down and I'm like, the fuck am I doing spending $40 and totaled it out? I'm like, I can get all of the singles that I am looking forward to from this deck, and then also complete the rest of my enchantment deck for like $45.
So I think
I did that instead.
Yes. Now that's part of the building the bear deck thing. Like, I could just build the bear deck, save this money. The one I'm still 100%. On the fence about is just the Esper deck.
Yeah,
because that one, the fucking Yuriko is like a $20 card.
Oh yeah,
she's like 18 right now. The Commander Ninjutsu card. So that one has the most value by far.
Oh right yeah, no, easily.
Because that one all 3 of its alternate commanders are good. Like, it's got Yenet is good, and it has the zombie, the Esper zombie one too.
See, I'm gonna try to trade for a Rix May.
But I still don't think I'm gonna get it because.
Oh, yeah. No,
I could just buy singles if I need them. Like, I don't.
Oh yeah, 100%.
As much as like the likelihood of me building the fucking deck around Yuriko is actually not that high.
Yeah.
I can just buy singles. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now that I'm on this train of like, I want to be building my own commander decks. I'm more focused. I don't just like want to buy cards because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is fun to just buy the packs though. Like, I did that
Oh, yeah.
for 2 of them last year, and it's like, this is just fun. But
Just
like,
find a pack once in a while. Like
Yeah.
I like getting a fat pack.
yeah,
Just get a couple packs to.
I bought some battle bonds just to buy some battle bonds
Oh yeah.
because I didn't go to an event for it.
Yeah, that
But
this feels like a podcast.
I mean, we could keep
Feels
going.
like
But
a-
we could just always keep going because it's magic.
I mean, yeah, we gotta hold back for the next time we need a bullshit episode.
I don't know. We'll have. So we should talk about a little bit about what we're doing next with watching a bunch of Godzilla movies.
Yeah, we're gonna bust out those brackets. Oh, we can have people fill out their own brackets. Like March Madness up in here.
Yeah, so we'll post. So when next
Figure
episode
out.
we'll do it. We have to figure out exactly how we're doing the bracket before then, which we'll probably do right after this.
Yeah.
And we'll put that stuff out. We'll post the full bracket when we launch the first episode. And it's going to take a while because there are a lot of Godzilla movies. And I don't know that we're going to watch all of them, but we're going to watch a lot of them.
Gonna watch a lot of
And
them.
I'm leaning towards more rather than fewer just because they're not particularly long movies either.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
I'm just
fine.
saying, right now, we're not watching Ebra the Sea Monster because Godzilla doesn't show up in that one till the very fucking end, and it's bad and boring.
Fair enough. But also, we're not gonna do that. It's not gonna be like a year of Godzilla. Like we're gonna space them out. So
Yes, that too. We're not just gonna fucking blow through them in a row. So it will also take a longer time to get through it. The project.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a podcast. So you can email us at saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Find us on soundcloud.com/saltcircle. Find us on Twitter at saltcirclepod, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Salt Circle Podcast, and you can find me on Twitter at Comic Panels.
And I'm on Twitter at bean_LP. Good pulls. Good top decks. Blast.